Pop Culture Pastor.
So Cody, my wife got mad at me the other day because I was using all the dishes in the kitchen to make a spatial reasoning map.
As one does.
Of my home, just in case I needed to dig tunnels to get out or possibly bury some bones.
As one does also.
Does one does that?
Yes.
Welcome. This is Pop Culture Pastor Watch-Alongs, and we are here to review or recap Season 4, Episode 8 of From.
Which I didn't realize that we really don't have that much left.
No, just 2 more episodes. Heavy is the Head is the name of this episode, with obvious references to Boyd and his ongoing issues. Just a little show notes for you. Next week, I will not be here.
I'm running this one solo.
So, Cody, are you doing solo or are you going to have someone with you?
I'll have people with me.
Okay.
At least one.
So, Cody will have a surprise guest next week, but I will not be here for that recap because I'll be on vacation.
Heavy is the head that carries this podcast.
It's true, man. Cody does a lot of work to carry all this, so you guys are in good hands. But this week, it's time for us to talk about our episode. But first, Cody, what the from?
What the from? This time we actually do have a shocking moment. Like, I knew it was going to happen sooner or later. You just don't know when it's going to happen. But Man in Yellow's back, baby.
Yeah.
And this time he is menacingly friendly.
Yeah, dude, I can't wait to talk about this. Again, I said this last week, and I truly believe that they're doing this because I know the online scuttlebutt is always, they're not answering any of the questions. And I think we are getting answers through the story, which is the best possible way, by the way. They're just not spelling them out yet. They're expecting you to figure out, like, hey, things are happening and characters are progressing, and you're just expected to notice.
I noticed some characters way too much.
And in the, 30-second little monologue he has in that scene at the end of this episode, I feel like we learn a lot.
We do.
But we will get there because that's at the end of the episode. It is the big ending of the episode. So,
but yes, after watching it, I'm like, what the from?
Yeah. And that was a great moment, too, to end on. It was definitely a what the from moment. But we got to start from the beginning. We start where we always start, with loose threads, Cody.
Yeah.
3 questions we are tracking heading into this episode. Question 1, what's wrong with Boyd?
Nothing.
He's fine. I'm fine. The tremors are back. The visions are getting worse. Abby, Father Kotri, hands coming out of graves. The man has been lying about all of it to everyone, including Kristi. So the question is this a medical thing? Early onset, whatever, neurological, the toll of 3 seasons of trauma finally cashing its check? Or is this a Fromville thing, Cody? Is the town doing this to him on purpose because he's the leader and breaking the leader breaks the town? Boyd Fishes and Loaves Stevens is coming apart, and we need to know whether to call a doctor or an exorcist.
With it happening in this place, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, we don't know. I mean, I think that's a legitimate. It could legitimately just be PTSD.
It could be Parkinson's. It could be this place is tearing him apart and making him think he has all these things.
I feel like the characters aren't sensitive enough to PTSD. Like, I feel like some of the characters treat some of the other characters like dirt with no concern or thought about, like, oh, Victor spent 40 years here by himself after watching everyone he knew get murdered as a child. We'll get there.
You just know that that's a common reaction, honestly.
Yeah. Question 2, what is the Man in Yellow's game? Say it with me, Cody. We ask it every week. What is his game? He killed Jim. He's living with Sarah. He trained her with a glass of water. He poisoned Henry's blood and maybe his mind. He reanimated Roger with a fertilized egg. He recognized Julie as an intruder. He gasped at a ballerina figure. All these things we've been talking about. He seems powerful enough to kill him when he wants. And instead, he's like throwing dinner parties of psychological torture. What does this guy actually want? Is he keeping the town trapped, or is he trapped right alongside everyone else and just having the time of his own life? I don't know.
I like to think he basically is the Joker from the Batman.
Yeah, maybe he's just a dog chasing cars. He wouldn't know what to do if he caught it. Question 3. Is Jade right about the children's bones? This is a big one.
Oh, yeah.
And it's first time on the loose threads because everything is now riding on Jade's theory. The bones of the Onkui children are down in the chamber. Jade believes recovering them is the key to going home. Boyd believes him enough to swing a sledgehammer through a wall, but then kind of pulls up short in this episode. But the whole end game is being built on a mushroom vision and a reincarnated memory. So is Jade right? Are the bones the way out? Or, and the show kind of hints at this, is digging them up the single worst thing these people could possibly do? Someone says something to that effect at the end of this episode.
Yep.
3 threads, Cody, none of them clipped. Let's get into it. From season 4, episode 8, Heavy is the Head. We start off in the aftermath of the chaos at Colony House with a long, lingering close-up of Roger's twice dead remains.
I was expecting a third time.
I'm like, why are we looking at this? Someone was very proud of the makeup and the special effects work there.
He looked like a Raggedy Ann doll.
Yeah, with his jaw torn off.
Yep.
And bloody. Is gross. Didn't need it.
As Raggedy Ann dolls sometimes look.
Later on, they would torch the body. So I think we've seen the last of Roger.
Until he rises like a phoenix.
The night before nearly broke everyone, and there's still kind of the hangover of it all. But the day after is going to be about cleanup, literal and emotional, and the residents of Colony House are, as they were in the last episode, kind of cracking up a little bit. And Boyd and Donna are talking about it all. And when Sophia approaches and casually asks, did the totems work on the monsters?
Well, I'm glad she asked. Someone needed to.
It was pretty funny the way Boyd was like, well, no. And I was like, ask her why she's bringing up old stuff. Why are you bringing up old stuff, Sophia? But no, yeah, it didn't work. And everyone just gets real quiet. And that's the end of the scene.
End scene.
Ellis interrupts, luckily for Boyd, and pulls Boyd and Donna upstairs. And Fatima starts telling them about last night, how she saw Kenny in trouble on the bus through Smiley's eyes, and how she's the reason Smiley didn't kill him. Which, I mean, yes, technically, I think she was taking a little bit more credit for that than maybe she should have been.
She was 100% right.
After the experience, she said she felt something cold settle inside her. And when she woke up this morning, she found dark veins spreading across her stomach. Something is wrong with Fatima, Cody, and it's physical now, not just psychic. It seems bad.
And this leads to our first Fromspiracy.
Fromspiracy!
So, as she is showing what is wrong with her, and you have these lines all across her belly, it was at this moment I'm like, who took Fatima to the shed to give birth to this demon thing?
That was Elgin.
That was Elgin. Who helped Fatima get clay and mud upstairs for the golem?
That was Elgin.
That was Elgin. And who told Elgin to take Fatima to the shed?
The kimono lady.
What if Fatima is becoming the kimono lady?
Time loop.
And that she was actually telling Elgin correctly that he needed to do this, so that this is the only way they actually make it out, is if she is connected to Smiley and is able to do something to help them through Smiley, even though it may cost her aliveness.
Yeah. It's a solid Fromspiracy. There's definitely timey-wimey things going on.
And I am always Team Elgin.
And it may come up again here in a little bit. We go to Tabitha and Ethan in the Stevens household. No, wait, not the Stevens house. I always do this. I get their last name confused with Boyd.
Yeah.
They're not the Stevens. They are... Well, I forget what their last
That
name
family.
is. Tabitha finds Ethan in his room drawing pictures of his family and the townspeople, and he explains in the most quietly normal but devastating way that he's drawing everything so we won't forget them when he's stuck here alone. See, Ethan has fully kind of internalized that the adults are going to fail, and he's preparing to be the last one standing, just like Victor before him. Tabs tries to redirect him, but just resumes being annoyed with poor Victor.
Oh my goodness, I could have thrown my shoe at her.
Tabs continues to be the worst. Boyd, meanwhile, is frustrated and disheartened that the totems failed. The plan failed. The night was a disaster. He meets with Jade and Kenny, but at least Kenny's still alive.
They did not kill Kenny.
He meets with Jade and Kenny to look at Jade's spatial reasoning map, and Jade has refined his idea for extracting the children's bones from the cavern. But it comes with a warning of casualties. The chamber only has one way in and one way out, which is a logistical nightmare, as Boyd brings up. He says, "This is a shooting gallery."
He ain't wrong.
As we called it in the military. Boyd, with his deteriorating mental state, is less and less inclined to risk lives. Is that all it is? Or is there some fear there? Or is it the pride about keeping people alive? What is it, Cody? I think it's fair to say it's all those things.
I think that he just likes having more than one exit.
Yeah. Jade sarcastically says, "Well, why don't I just build us a hot air balloon and fly us all out of here?" To which Boyd is just as snarky, says, "That'd be great."
I agree.
And Boyd and Jade are on the outs in this episode. Kenny follows Boyd out to deliberate, but as Boyd is explaining how he isn't willing to jeopardize anyone, he hears gunshots. Kenny's non-reaction makes it clear that Boyd is continuing to hallucinate, and Kenny clearly notices.
I noticed too, because I'm like, whoa, where's those gunshots coming from?
Yeah.
Nowhere.
We get full on Boyd hallucinating, and it's picking up speed, and it's happening more often. We go to Henry at the diner. He walks in and he asks Bacta for some part-time work to keep his mind occupied. And at this point, I'm like, oh, so Henry is still kind of realizing, oh, this may be just because, the idle hands, right? Do the devil's work. If I can use the saying, which is especially prevalent here. So Bacta recruits him to help with lunch when the jukebox starts playing Miranda's favorite song. Uh-oh, jukebox song of the episode, Cody. We haven't had one of these in a while.
I've been waiting.
Little Blue by Joni Mitchell. We've heard it on the show before. When Henry walks into the diner, the jukebox gives us this little track from Joni Mitchell's 1971 album Blue. We heard it before when Tabs made it to the real world, and it was in Henry's car. He said the tape was stuck and just played occasionally.
Coincidence.
Joni Mitchell wrote it during one of the most emotionally raw periods of her life, and the whole record is about heartbreak and longing and trying to stay afloat when everything in your world is coming apart. And the song itself is a letter to sadness, treating Blue like a person you can talk to. Cody, of course, this was Henry's wife's favorite song, but it does a great job of framing life in Fromville right now, because this man, Henry, is metaphorically drowning. He's lost his wife twice now, once to death and once to the kind of the truth of how she died. He's drunk adjacent in a diner trying to forget about the visions he's having, and Joni's singing about a sea of tears, and the jukebox is just mocking him.
And he also has some lady running around town saying, "I used to be married to you."
Yeah. Makes it a little more complicated.
It does.
Tabs takes Ethan to see Victor, presumably to get him to take back everything he ever said to Ethan.
Oh, I wanted to throw my shoe again.
How old are you, Tabs? This is like the plan of a 12-year-old.
Tabitha Matthews, you silly goose.
She's like, open the door. And so Victor opens the door and she says, tell him it's not true. Which part, Victor says. The part about him being here alone. You're scaring him. Like, why is she being so unreasonably insensitive to a man-child who spent 30 years alone in Nightmare World?
And is evidence example A of, yeah, this could happen.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Ethan isn't deregulated at all. He's not crying. He's not yelling. He doesn't even seem all that afraid of anything. He's the most calm person in Fromville, and he's like, I want Victor to teach me. So Tabs goes along with it for now, I guess.
Yeah.
Her character continues to be, I think, one of the worst written characters of the show.
She has somehow replaced Acosta as the most accosting character to my senses.
We go to Fatima at the clinic, who is letting Kristi examine her, and Kristi sees nothing to be concerned with. And Ellis is just being incredibly rude to her.
He gets moody sometimes.
He's reminding Kristi, well, you didn't see the smiley baby either. And he's dropping F-bombs. And for her part, Kristi takes it well, spinning it to say, while it doesn't appear Fatima is in any physical danger, this place does have a way of proving them wrong. Fatima asks if she's turning into one of those monsters, and Dr. Ellis immediately says, no, that's not what's happening. Tell her that's not what's happening. Like, this dude.
He, again, knows a lot of things.
This is apparently the episode where the town folk just want to pretend bad things can't and won't happen, even though every single episode of this show has proved that it does. So Tabs and Ellis doing the same thing, and I wasn't having it. I'm just like, these characters are annoying the nerd out of me right now. Meanwhile, Marielle speaks up to try to be the brighter side of the whole situation by reminding everyone that, hey, Kenny's alive because of this. Maybe it's not such a bad thing. And Ellis just goes in on her, man. He decides he's mad at her now, and he throws around more F-bombs, and Boyd and Kristi finally tell everyone, calm down. And Kristi wants to keep her there to monitor Fatima's her vitals.
Yeah.
And so diffuse the scene a little bit. We then get a short scene where Jade tells Kenny he has to get Boyd to accept that to make an omelet, a few eggs may have to die, Cody. Kenny says, I'm not doing that. Jade says, well, maybe that's the reason no one has ever made it out of here, because no one has ever been willing to make the hard decisions. Kenny gets real close to Jade and he says, let me guess. You won't be the one down there deciding which eggs get broken. Yeah, that's what I thought. And Jade is kind of put in his place. Kenny continues to be like one of the most balanced guys in Fromville.
Where I was Team Jade on this scene. Like, you didn't let him even try to answer.
No.
Because, like, you know what? Jade might be one that goes down there because he's the only one that really knows the tunnels with his spatial layout map.
Jade is now the most sympathetic character in the whole show, as far as I'm concerned. All he's doing is putting his considerable brain power to try and solving how the heck they all get out of a place that you can't get out of.
I think Elgin's the most sympathetic, but Jade's a close second.
Meanwhile, you got half the town who's just like, we shouldn't do anything. Well, okay. That's not much of a strategy. Don't die. Good luck with that.
Don't drink the water.
Kristi finds Boyd standing outside the clinic, lost in thought, and he confesses everything. He's been lying about his mental state. His hand tremors are back. This time, his episodes seem tied to Abby, and he asks Kristi for a pill, some medicine, anything that will slow the deterioration of his mind and body just long enough for him to help everyone escape. And Kristi states the obvious. Well, we don't have anything that would solve that. You're just going to have to power through, Boyd. But now the truth is out there. The leader is breaking down and there's no medicine for it. And now Kristi knows it. The town doc, who at last check wasn't a fan of the whole retrieve the bones plan. She now knows Boyd's condition. I'm sensing an impending HIPAA violation incoming, Cody.
I will be upset because I think HIPAA goes into from like it does everywhere else in the continental United States.
I feel like they are positioning a Fromville civil war, and Kristi is clearly on one side of that. Sophia sneaks into the sheriff's station. She goes through Boyd's stored belongings and reclaims the yellow suit, the one Victor found in the woods, the one their whole investigation's kind of built around. She takes back what's hers, and this both removes evidence and signals that the man in yellow is about to step back into his trademark look. Weird but possibly important story point. The Sophia in yellow doesn't even try to cover her tracks. She leaves the sheriff's office looking like someone ransacked it, looking for something. Is that intentional, or does he just not care?
I think it's intentional because then you have to suspect that someone that's with them is doing this. And then you don't know who it is that's doing this. And so you're going to accuse anyone and everyone. And that's going to help further tear themselves apart.
And Boyd does do that later in the episode. He's like, do you think Henry or Victor did this? Which I thought was a weird line to throw in there. But I think that is you being right. Sophia heads back home where her Sarah mate is none too pleased that she was gone all night. She was worried sick, Cody.
You know that Sarah, she's really compassionate.
Yeah. What's in the book bag? Clothes. Well, she ain't lying.
Heyo.
Sarah backs off as the Sophia in yellow kind of acts like she's just experiencing all the trauma now of Fromville, and she just felt like if she got some different clothes, it might make her feel better. Throws her off the scent.
She didn't throw me off.
Ethan wants to learn from Victor, the ultimate Fromville survival master, and Victor takes him to the storage truck he hid in. He apparently survived on canned peaches, Cody.
As one does.
And the occasional plant and bug, he said, sometimes.
Ooey.
Victor gives him his can opener rock.
That's a good gift.
He says, well, his methods and his planning are deeply kid-like, right? Because Victor is an emotionally stunted adult, and clearly this is all a bridge too far for Tabitha, as she's like rolling her eyes and covering her face. And the idea of her child apprenticing under a man preparing for everyone's death is not really sitting well with her. And about the time he whips out the teddy bear and the mop head dressed up like his mom and sister, Tabs, which was awesome, Tabs objects again. Like, does it ever occur to Tabs that this was therapeutic for Victor? Like, does that not occur that there might be some therapy for him going on here? And Ethan is clearly not. Ethan is not, he's so baseline through all of this.
And like, even if hypothetically that Tabitha's right, Ethan is going to be fine. Everyone's going to be fine. Ethan's not going to be left alone. Good survival skills in case they do get separated. Because my main guy, Jim, he got separated from his family and then he's not with us. And there's been multiple times that Tabitha and or her children have been just out in the open. Like, let Ethan learn some things, even if it isn't for the thing that Victor says it is. Like, he's not teaching bad coping mechanisms or survival skills.
Yeah. It's just, it was more therapeutic than anything. He's just showing Ethan how he survived by himself in this town for so long. And then she's like, we're done here. Like, she was just so deeply obnoxious to me. Then she takes Ethan and she promises Cody to get Ethan out of there. And Victor, in one of the coldest lines of the series so far, says, yeah, that's what my mom thought too. I was like, oh snap.
And if you were really her, you would have known it.
Yeah, I just thought that was like, he just delivered the coldest line possible. And it was awesome. Meanwhile, Henry is back at the diner when he has another episode. Bacta drops a tray or something and it snaps him back. And it's the clearest one he's had yet. Victor appears at his bedside in this vision in what appears to be a really old hospital. The whole vision is iffy.
Although I will say, Victor looks sharp.
Yeah, he does.
And it seems to be very adult-like and professional. And yeah, that's good acting.
Yeah. At times I was like, well, this is clearly not, he should know this isn't real because everything looks so old. The hospital itself, the building looks older than snot. Meanwhile, he's hooked up to machines that are very current. And a smartphone plays into it later on. We'll get there. Anyways, Victor tells Henry something staggering. That Miranda came home on Henry's birthday with 2 hits of acid. Something was wrong with him, he said. Henry had a severe reaction and slipped into a long coma. Oh, it was for his birthday. Did I not say it was for his birthday? Because, like, coming home with hits of acid for your husband when you have 2 small children, that's just perfectly normal if it's on your birthday, right?
Well, it's very hippie-like, which is why it makes sense he lives at the colony house.
According to the Vision, Henry has been in a hospital facility ever since the bad acid trip. The township, Fromville, is all a coma dream, and Victor tells him Eloise is flying out to see him, and oh, by the way, you have a grandson.
Do you know how expensive that hospital bill would be?
Like, how long are we saying he's been in that situation? 40 years?
Yeah, at least.
Like, is that even possible? Is that doable?
His wife must be a glutton for punishment. Like, I'm going to keep you alive and string you along for all this.
And he's like reasonably healthy. And I'm like, my man, Henry, you were being duped.
Like, your body should be atrophied.
Yes.
Although my friend Steven Seagal was in a coma for 7 years, and then he got out of it, cut his beard and hair because he looked like Jesus, and then proceeded to kick butt.
At least in this moment, Henry, maybe mimicking the audience, it seems unwilling to believe that the parents of 2 young children that do acid hits for mildly special occasions can live the American dream. And he doesn't believe it. He refuses to believe it at this point. And he's catapulted back to the diner. And he tells Bacta he needs to go. Now, Ellis, we're back to him again. They're back at Colony House, and Fatima's getting ready to go. And Ellis is packing up a bag, too. He's saying, I'm going to go with you and stay at the clinic. And she says, you don't have to do that. And he says, but I don't want you to be there alone. And she says, that's not the reason you're doing it. And Ellis says his disdain of Kristi and Marielle is palpable. And he's basically admitting that that's the reason. Like, where did this come from? He's so, like, enraged and angered at Kristi and Marielle.
I'm half the episodes enraged with them, but
I know they're annoying, but
I don't think would have quite the with her having a smiley baby, maybe he is still carrying a lot of resentment, but also she doesn't seem very lovey-dovey right now.
No. The conversation does reveal kind of where the strain is coming from, at least on Ellis's part. Ellis can't understand how Marielle could frame Fatima's condition as something good. Fatima says, well, what if it is? She's starting to see her connection to Smiley and whatever's happening to her body as a potential weapon rather than a curse. Ellis doesn't usually get a lot to do, but his character's actions I found so contrived this episode. I felt bad for the actor at times because it just seemed like such a shift, an unnatural shift for a guy who'd been nothing but kind of supportive. And in this episode, he's just super combative a lot of the time. He does get to deliver a pretty effective speech right in this part, though, on why what is driving him. And it's his fear. He's afraid that she's turning into one of these things. And Fatima makes a good point. She says, if what you're afraid of is already happening, I need to take what good I can from that before it does. Which is a good point. It's very stoic.
Most logical thing Fatima has said in a while.
Now, meanwhile, Kristi confronts Marielle and why she said what she said. I'm Team Marielle here. I feel like Kristi was being just the worst at this possible moment. She seems to be acting like someone acts when they're stuck inside a nightmare, does Marielle. Kristi throws down the she's my patient line and throws like she's working in, like she's on ER or the pit or something.
Yeah, this part I'm like, okay, even though you might not be in agreement with her logic, at the end of the day, it's going to be Fatima's choice. Mm. And Fatima can say, Marielle, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And that would be her choice. Or she can say, that's how I feel, is that I'm doing some good and that I'm glad Kenny's alive. Like, there was nothing egregious about what she said.
Number one, Kristi's big timing her. Isn't she a nurse too?
Yeah, so, because Kristi didn't finish up. She was in training.
She acts like she's a doctor. And her and Marielle are the same level of experience. And so she's big timing her. Number two, it feels like you're getting mad at Marielle because she's just using good bedside manner.
Yep.
Like she's just trying to keep the patient positive. Oh, heavens.
It's like the anger she has. It's almost like Marielle tried to tell Fatima, you have cancer. And that's the diagnosis when it's clearly the common cold. And that, no, like, we're not arguing that. We're not arguing medical stuff. We're just arguing like, there could be some good that's coming out of this.
Yeah. Marielle does get the winning last line, though, as she says, well, let me know if there's any more sheets for me to change, which I also thought was funny.
Ayo.
This is meant, again, this whole scene is meant to show that the person in yellow's work is kind of taking root. The town's clearly dividing right down the middle on what should be done, and it feels, all the feels are tense right now.
This is just like Captain America Civil War.
Pretty much. Back with Jade, he has destroyed his spatial map and is muttering to himself when he has an epiphany. He remembers the hole in the ceiling with the symbol made from the tree roots, and that would be another access point, which would change things immensely. So we get Kenny, who's dropped by the ransacked sheriff's station, and Boyd says, someone was in here. And Kenny
Good
asks,
detective work.
Kenny goes, are you sure? Which I LOL'd at. I laughed at that line, the way he says it. Kenny was awesome this episode. That actor, he was great. Boyd says, yeah, I'm sure. The yellow suit is gone. And just as Kenny is turning that conversation into who might have taken it, Jade interrupts. He excitedly tells Boyd what he has recalled. Jade says he knows how we can get in and out of the cavern. The bottle tree. Come with me. Follow me, he says. Meanwhile, Sophia, it's the Matthews house.
Yes.
Sophia just enters the Matthews house and goes through Ethan's things. And I'm like, Cody, how can she just be going in and out of places with no one noticing? There's always extras standing around on these town scenes. You know, that's the problem with extras. Gosh, can't get them to do anything else but just stand there.
Exactly.
Is no one noticing her just going in and out of places?
She could just be looking for a friend.
She picks up a cup, which I found interesting, in the sink. Presumably that someone drank that town's tainted water out of, and she sniffs it.
Her sniffing is just weird.
That had to mean something, right, Cody? They're not doing that for fun. That's not just she's not vamping as an actress.
She is.
No, they told her to do that. There's something with the water. She takes all of Ethan's drawings, specifically the ones with his family, and why will become horrifyingly clear by the end of the episode. Meanwhile, Tabitha tries to convince Ethan to come home. He's still out with Victor. She tells him Jade and Boyd are working on a real plan to get out, so he doesn't need to audit Victor's Doomsday 101 class. And Ethan pushes back. Every plan in this town has a good chance of failing, and when it does, he needs to be ready for whatever comes next. Tabitha insists that this cycle is different and that they're going to prevent the massacre this time. And to be fair, she has a pretty good speech here. She starts talking about Miranda and feeling what she felt, and that thankfully because of her, they know more now. And Tab thinks part of her mission at the end of all this speech is to bring Victor home. And it's quite emotional, and it convinces both Victor and Ethan.
It did not convince me.
Because Cody doesn't go down like that.
No. And I'm still not convinced that she was Victor's mom.
Oh, okay. You're going there.
Yeah, like, especially when she goes to the car. It's the wrong car. It's the wrong car. I'm still hung up on that.
Out in the woods, Jade tells Boyd and Kenny about his memory from the cavern, looking up at the hole, seeing the roots. And Victor said that those roots became the bottle tree. Jade says, you said we couldn't go down there without a second exit. So I'm giving you one. He says he wants to pull the tree out of the ground, roots and all. And before you say it's impossible, there's a clearing 100 yards away, and the road's right next to that. We use other trees as leverage. Cody. Fromspiracy! Oh my God. This was just so, as he's saying all these things, I'm like, oh, look at this exposition he's delivering about how close they are to the road. It's Fromspiracy time. And this one might break your brain.
Okay, break it.
Jade's plan is to rip out the bottle tree by its roots to get into the bone chamber underneath. Fine, okay. But think about where that bottle tree is. Out in the woods, near the road. The road. The one every single person comes into Fromville on. The road that gets blocked by a giant fallen tree right before they crash into town. Cody, what if it's the same tree? What if the fallen tree in the road and the bottle tree growing over the bone chamber are the same like cosmic object, just seen from different points in this loop, this time loop? And I know this is timey-wimey, but we've already gotten some of this timey-wimey loop stuff. What if the people of Fromville are the ones that created the time loop itself? What if in some past cycle, the residents did exactly what Jade is about to do? They tore out that tree to get the bones, and they ripped a time-space tree out of the ground, and it shattered the timeline. The fallen tree that traps every newcomer isn't just blocking the road, Cody. It's the wound. It's the start. It's the beginning and the end. It's the same tree. Cody, what do you think about that Fromspiracy?
I think it has some strong validity. Just because, like, you think about the bottle tree and people falling in the bottle tree and going places and even getting stuck in swimming pools. Like, there's something magical, something mystical going on with the tree. And so if you tear it out, what is that going to do? Yeah. Now, my only pushback is, there doesn't appear to be any glass bottles or broken bottles like when newcomers come upon the tree.
That could be the part where he says we use other trees as leverage.
So
what if it's not the bottle tree that ends up in the road? It's one of the other trees that they used.
That would make sense.
Yeah. My whole thing is like, I think there's a strong possibility that this season ends with one of those trees falling down in the road in front of a car of someone new we haven't met yet.
Also, what if what he thinks is roots is giant spider legs?
That certainly seems possible too, because those are the weirdest looking roots I've ever seen.
Yep.
They don't look like roots to me, bud, but all right. But Kenny says, hey, this could work. But Boyd is being super combative. He wants to know what plan B is when plan A doesn't work. And it ends in this intense exchange, and Boyd huffs off. And Kenny follows, but not before Boyd has another vision. This time, Kenny getting shot and dying in his arms. And then he sees everyone in Fromville dead. And then Abby kneeling beside them, also dying. Because she spits up a lot of blood, like true horror movie style. Before it all disappears. It's just another hallucination. Which they seem to be coming pretty fast and furious now. Henry is spiraling, and he's out for a walk, and he's at his wife's grave, right? Miranda's grave.
And his daughter's.
Yes. And he breaks down and he asks Miranda to show him the way. And this pulls him back into another hallucination as Joni Mitchell's Blue plays again. And there the nurse tells him that to fully return to reality, he needs to disconnect from the world in his mind. The doctor advises Henry to remove the anchor holding him in the false reality so he can return permanently to his family. Cody, would a doctor do that?
That makes zero sense.
Cody, this is the person in yellow's plan crystallizing. He's convincing Henry that Fromville is fake and that to wake up, quote unquote, Henry has to destroy something or someone anchoring him there. And this is literally a weapon being built in real time inside a man's head. Much like what happened to Sarah and Elgin. And it's the same thing. It's just he's not hearing voices. He's getting hallucinations. He's not seeing a kimono lady.
Which I'm still saying was a good person.
Could be. Meanwhile, but that scene, by the way, ends with him like kind of weeping. And
wailing.
Robert Joy, the actor, just continues to nail it. That was very effective, the end of that scene. Meanwhile, back at the clinic, Kristi is asking Fatima if she's like, have you been dizzy? Any shortness of breath? And she seems really confused with the answers. When the answers are no, I feel fine. And Fatima starts asking Marielle if she thinks it's possible to work on the control of what she experienced with Smiley. And Kristi's like, can I talk to you?
And I thought she was going to accost her for even thinking.
I thought so too. I was already mad, but then she gets her over there and she tells Mario something she hasn't told Boyd or Ellis yet. Fatima's vitals, her heart rate, her blood pressure indicate that she is, well, technically dead, Cody. She's all but dead. She feels fine. She's walking and talking, but by most every medical measure, Fatima is a walking corpse with a barely working heart. And seems pretty clear she's turning into something.
A kimono lady.
Boyd sees Father Khatri again. He goes pretty hard to convince Boyd to go with Jade's plan. This isn't about keeping everyone safe and sound, the Khatri hallucination says. This is it. This is where you make your stand. Suck it up, make a choice, and live with it. Is this just more Man in Yellow messing around? Or is this a force of good? What's happening here? I think I'm back on Man in Yellow. That he's just trying to set up the opposing sides here.
I will say, Boyd wears yellow.
Oh, okay. Tabitha, Victor, and Ethan head back to town together, and Victor and Ethan want to go to Colony House to check on Donna. Ethan asks if he can go check on Donna, conveniently leaving Tabs alone in the casa. And Tabitha goes into the house and the phone rings. It shouldn't be ringing, but we've seen this before. The voice on the other end is Thomas, her dead son again, who Jim talked to on the phone. And the voice tells her to go to the crashed RV where her family first arrived in town. Against every instinct, she goes. Tabitha arrives at the RV, and the Man in Yellow has decorated the entire outside of it with Ethan's stolen drawings. It's a staging area, a presentation. And then the Man in Yellow appears, fully back in his original form with yellow suit, thanks to Sophia's reclaiming of it.
Although he's missing a bag of teeth.
Yeah. This is the centerpiece of the episode, Cody. One of the most unsettling scenes I think the series has done yet. There's no physical threat here at all. Tabitha, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say he does grab her throat.
Yes, at some point, but not hard, it would appear. She's not choking.
Yeah.
Tabitha shrinks against the RV, trying to make herself disappear. And the Man in Yellow is warm, bright, almost affectionate, which makes it all much worse.
Menacingly friendly.
Do you know who I am? Oh, you haven't remembered that part yet. He tells her he's not going to kill her. He wouldn't dream of it, Cody. He tells her they've been through so much together, that she's as close to a friend as he's ever had, that she and Jade are doing so well this time. Then he touches her face, and he casually mentions that she's standing exactly where Jim died. And he brags about keeping one of Jim's teeth as a souvenir and says, oh, he was so brave. And then this warning, after he does kind of grab her throat a little, said this plan could be the one to send everyone home, send the children home, or it could unleash a kind of suffering that she cannot imagine. And then he's like, this has been really nice. And that was my second LOL of the episode. I literally laughed. I was like, this has been really nice. He tells her he's missed her and that I'll see her soon. And he walks away humming a tune. Credits.
Love the way that one ended.
What a scene, dude. What a scene. You get, I think, tons of exposition here to question and think about and rattle around your brain. Who is the Man in Yellow? That's what we've been asking all along. Is it possible he's somehow Thomas? And it's just like through Ethan's imagination and your Fromspiracy about how maybe this place springs from Ethan's imagination, that this is like some thought of Thomas, or he thinks he's Thomas. Who knows? But there's clearly some connection here between him and Tabitha and Jade, and they just haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah. And so my wife, her Fromspiracy for after the scene was, well, what if the Man in Yellow isn't completely evil? What if he is actually trying to protect them from the children? And maybe the children are what's keeping everything anchored here.
Yeah, I didn't necessarily feel a vibe of like, oh, he's definitely lying. Like, why would he say that? Why would he even leave it up to them? if there was something he wanted them to do, like, I think he just thrives on the chaos of it all.
Yes.
And so he's not going to tell them what the right answer is. But like you said it earlier, he's kind of like the Joker. Well, the Joker doesn't always lie.
Mm-hmm.
The devil doesn't always lie. I know we call him the Prince of Lies, the devil.
Yes.
But sometimes the devil tells the truth when it will lead to something he wants to have happen.
Even the temptation in the wilderness, he was quoting scripture.
Yeah. So it's really interesting stuff there, Cody. It's time for Rip. Rest in peace. Yeah, it's time for that. Cody, we gather here today to pay our respects to Fatima, who is dead clinically. Officially, no heartbeat, low heartbeat, low blood pressure, the whole package. Kristi checked. The machine sort of agrees. Fatima is by most measurable medical standards a walking corpse, but she is also at this exact moment walking and talking and building a clay golem the size of a Volkswagen and also having full conversations with her boyfriend. So Cody, I don't know how we eulogize someone who's standing right there. How do you do a rip for a woman who would presumably attend her own funeral, maybe help set up the chairs? I don't know. But Fatima, we mourn you. You are gone. You are also fine. You have dark veins going across your stomach and a psychic hotline to a monster that we know of as Smiley. But otherwise, you seem to be in pretty good spirits for a dead person. So we will remember you fondly while you remain in the room. Not being remembered because you are not gone. May you rest in peace or not. I don't know. Apparently resting in peace is optional now. Amen. Question mark?
Question mark. Well, this episode, we also finally got rid of Raj. Roger, you're gone.
Raj, I didn't want to do a rip for Raj for the third time.
Yeah, because this time we just got rid of his body.
He seemed pretty much gone this time for goods, for reals. Cody, who's your winner of the week?
I do think I go with the actor that plays Victor, because you do get to see some extremes of like, man-child stuck in like a 50-year-old's body. And then, professional.
Yeah.
Polite, adult-like. And it's like, whoa, this is what Victor could have been.
Yeah, for sure the actor. Because I do think the hallucination scenes where we see him as a normal dude give extra weight to his man-childish appearance of the way Victor actually is in the show. And so it gives it a little bit more weight and shows how talented he is. My winner of the week, the OG man in yellow. He's back, Cody. The full suit, no more teenage Sophia costume. The man reclaimed his wardrobe, reclaimed his identity, and the vibe. The vibe, man. I love the vibes at the end. And you look at his week. He stole his suit back from Boyd's room. He stole Ethan's family drawings. He decorated an RV with them like a serial killer's Pinterest page. He lured Tabitha out with a phone call from her dead son, and then he gave the single most chilling performance of the season by being nice. He seemed kind of pleasant, except for the part where, he grabbed her throat. But he called her a friend. He told her he missed her. He bragged about keeping Jim's tooth. Didn't lay a finger on him. And when this guy's in the episode, man, the chills, dude. The chills are there. And he's got Henry rigged to go off like a bomb, and I'm here for it. Does this mean he's back? Or is he going to turn back into Sophia again?
I think he has to go back to Sophia just so then it still creates this level of suspicion of who is the man in yellow, because clearly he's one of us.
Yeah. Who's the loser of the week?
It's two people. It's Ethan and Victor. They're constantly getting bombarded by Tabitha and her hypocrisy. Like, oh, you guys need to stop that. Knock it off. And don't go chasing monsters, as I will go chase the monsters myself. Yes, those two people have to put up with Tabitha and her shenanigans nonstop, and I feel bad for them.
For a minute there, I thought you were going to say, don't go chasing waterfalls.
We haven't found the Lake of Tears, which may or may not have waterfalls.
Stick to those lakes you're used to, am I right?
Exactly.
My loser of the week is Kristi. Cody, I've about had it with Kristi. Marielle is over here connecting dots, having visions, trying to convince people about the ancient feeding on their suffering. Like, she's seeing things, she's hearing things, she's in the know. And her whole personality this season is Kristi shutting her down. That's like every time Marielle reaches for something bigger, Kristi's right there with the wet blanket. She's dismissive, she's short with her, and she's treating every theory like it's a personal affront to her. And the kicker this week is she's sitting on the single biggest piece of information in town now, that Fatima is like, turning into something. And how long do you think it's going to take her to say anything? Oh, also, she knows that Boyd, may not be well. I think that's going to come out first, by the way. So she's gatekeeping the diagnosis and being rude to Marielle. Cody, I get that right now she's like a skeptic, team science, but there's a way to be the skeptic without being a jerk. And she was just a jerk this episode. And Ellis was close behind her. They were both kind of jerks. Losers of the week. How many canned peaches out of 10 are you giving this episode?
So this episode, it had some really great scenes, but then there were parts where I'm like, well, this is kind of dragging. I'll go 8.
Yeah. I was going to give it a 7, but I thought the same thing. I thought it felt like a couple of the characters in particular made these kind of drastic turns that is going to actually set up like the last 2 episodes in a good way, I think. But they had to make these turns that I thought were just a little much in the moment. And it just like you could feel the show squeak as it made it around this turn, like it's creaking a little.
So I'm hoping for jukebox songs of the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, that would be nice.
We do have White Zombies, More Human Than Human for Fatima.
Oh.
And then Matchbox 20, Unwell for Boyd. That's my hope. I know that they should not be playing in that jukebox, but I'm hoping that it's playing in that jukebox.
I like to think Smooth by Rob Thomas and Santana is in there just for funsies and because it's a summer bop.
It is.
Yeah. All right. What did you guys think of the episode? Let us know. Comment on the social media post for this. And hey, if you don't follow us, you probably should. So you can see those posts, subscribe to the podcast, review us, go to our link tree, check out the swag, all the stuff. We've got Fromville stickers. You might want those.
Eek.
We'll see you next week.